November 9, 1970, a 45-foot, 8-ton sperm whale washes ashore the Florence Beach, located in Oregon. The local beachgoers notice it and immediately contact the Oregon Highway Division. Why them? The whale is right next to one of Oregon's highways. Ergo, the problem lies solely on one man to make it right, George Thornton. Now, this man will get most of the blame for what was about to transpire, but we'll get to him later. As for the locals, however, many pitched their ideas on how to exactly deal with the now diseased whale. What if we just cut it up into itty bitty pieces so we can clean it up one by one? It's an 8-ton whale. Who just wants to sit there and just start carving away at all that?
Well, I propose we get heavy cranes and lift the sucker out of there.
My brother in Christ, it is 8 tons. Nothing is moving that thing.
Well, I don't see you coming up with solutions. All I'm hearing is a bunch of countering, but no arguing.
And all I'm hearing is a bunch of solutions that won't solve nothing.
You trying to say something?
Are you crazy? You just hopped out the garbage bin, homie. Take a shower.
Alright, then come run the runs then if you think you all that. That's the problem.
This man go start talking about, oh, we live in a society. Bro, ain't no one trying to hear all that.
Cause I don't really think you know what a bad day is.
Show me something then.
I will.
Wait! My fellow Oregonians, the solution is simple. We'll blow it up for the surrounding aquatic life to feast on. The Oregon Highway Division came to the decision to blow up the whale. There was talk of burying it in the sand, cutting it up, and transporting it, but many worried the water would just wash it back up at a later time. Cutting it up would be kind of difficult too, since not only is the whale rotting from the inside, it's also just really large to begin with, and transporting it, it's also not possible when the whale is more massive than the low taper fade. So the final verdict, spirit bombing the literal creature with half a ton of dynamite. Thought process behind it was that when the whale blew up, the whale's remains would just scatter in the ocean for aquatic wildlife to eat. Though, just like any person with some sense, George was also worried that the amount of TNT being used was way too much, and that the consequences of undermining that single factor would or could be catastrophic. After getting the thumbs up from the US Navy and the ODFW, all 3 parties thought that this was the plan to do away with the whale. With that, news stations, people, and law enforcement all oversee this momentous occasion. And I mean momentous with full intent. This state wasn't even talked about beforehand. Quick PSA, if you ever want to know if your state is a literal empty waste of space, search up the attractions in major places of the state. If the big majority of it are museums and wild parks, it's a pretty boring place to be at. And for the people hurt by that, then you probably live in one, I ain't gonna lie. Peaceful? Sure. But that don't change the fact that it's a snooze fest. Anyway, the people are also way too close to the blast, even after police urged the public and media to be pushed far away back by setting up safety lines that shouldn't be crossed. But to be honest, if I was trapped in the gloomy part of the US, I would absolutely be within kissing distance of this event. What else do I have after this? A wild park? It is cloudy for almost 9 months, and then afterwards for the next 2 to 3 months it goes to sunny, just to go right back to cloudy again. I don't have a vendetta with Oregon, in case you were wondering. I'm sure there's people living there that can probably vouch for me, and I don't have any hate against it. I just don't like the fact that this photo basically represents the entirety of Oregon. What's wrong, man? You look kind of like on edge. I don't know. I just feel like this really won't go down too well. Well, I mean, we did stick up 1,000 pounds of TNT up its glory hole, so I mean, it's not the worst. 1,000? Yeah, no, that's what I said. No. I said 500. Oh, well, it's all right. Let me just notify them. Hold on. Demolition status on the prep, over.
About ready to blow, over.
No. Before you do it, shave off 500 from the blast.
You said send it 500 years into the past?
Not even remotely close. What? Hey, don't look at me, man. That man has some undisclosed hearing problems that really need to be addressed. The expectation was nothing like the actual outcome. The explosion was grossly underestimated, and the parts went in every direction possible for half a mile from the blast site. And by the grace of God and a whole lot of hermit crabbing, the only thing that was damaged was some buildings and a Buick that was newly purchased. And the stench, this man was clowned for years. You think Drake going through the motions right now? This man was Drake before he was Drake. The stench on the beach was worse than the Drake stands defending him. So big takeaway, don't blow up deceased whales as a viable solution to get rid of one. Either bury, burn, allow nature to take its course, or carry it off the premises. Other than that, blowing it up should just be the last thing you should be thinking of, or just don't do it outright.